I often get emails, and I also meet with other people who are on this amazing path of self-realization and awakening. And I sometimes get messages, and a lot of them are focused on relationships from a standpoint of being self-realized. So I'm going to do a quick video that I hope will help you if you have any challenges around establishing your clear seeing, and then another being you may feel often pulls you out of that seeing or triggers something. So, and I'm going to start this one with the attention, because it is the attention that apparently goes out, that leaves the seat of being, because you cannot leave, you cannot not be who you are. But there can be a sense of going out and projecting and relating to others. So if we start with the troublemaker, which is the attention. So could you just be? Always just be. And now, could you take your attention and focus it on one object? And could you focus it on another object? And could you focus it on another object? And now, could you invite that very same attention that has been focusing on objects to turn to its source? And now, the alertness, the true alertness that doesn't wander off, if you could just keep that here. Now, what happens with relationships is, if we, not attempt, but if we do that attention practice, after we've had a bit of a to-do with somebody else, what tends to happen is we'll have a bit of a, I don't know, disagreement or something. Right, I've just remembered to do the attention practice. So you've had this conversation, it was a little bit sticky and yucky and separate and pushy-pulley, and you're thinking, oh, I should have been present. So let me just focus here, focus here, focus here, and then turn the focus in. What can happen is we can experience some energies at the forefront, because the attention that went out connected with thought forms or energy forms. So when we turn, well, we don't actually turn the attention in, we can do that, we can attempt, but when we turn it, it disappears, and it's just you. Now, the real you that's only ever been, can now have an experience of, oh, yucky stuff here, because it's as if the beingness has been taken out by the attention and connected with different forces. So there can be a, oh, not a very nice taste here. So it's just to take that, reimagine the attention, and imagine that you're pulling it into the tummy, and now you're going to take it, and you need to go inside to do this, and you just imagine that you've took the attention, the one that was connecting out, the one that has a sense of me, that has been having this relationship, and just pop it at the base of the spine. And just keep some awareness around it being at the base of the spine. Now, because you have withdrawn from the game, you can now see, or you may not, but some beings tend to experience fear and maybe predominant states of anger, frustration, guilt, shame. It doesn't matter what it's called, but it can be running. And it's to leave it, let it be, let that be. If it becomes overwhelming, you can just inhale. And take the gravity out of this moment. Take the seriousness out of it. Take the, this thing must go away, I don't like it. Just, oh, what if it's supposed to be like this? What if this is the perfection? What if? Now there's calmness, there's peace, because this is the now. As soon as we have no concept of past and future and doing anything, oh, this is it. This is the freedom. Even if something is dancing, there's a sense of freedom. You're no longer identified with it or connected to it. It's just there. Okay. Now, from this place of freedom, it's to recognize that you can now look beyond. You can just open and look beyond. And you can sense the infinite. It's infinite. It's a sense of being outside of the body, but it's not a thing. It's just awareness, presence. Now from here, when it comes to relationships, there can be a sense of unevenness, meaning that there can be inferior and superior. There can be definitely 100% past and future. And there can be right and wrong and good and bad. And that usually is the ingredients for relationships when we say that they're turbulent, push and pull. Because if there's no hierarchy, there's no superiority or inferiority, there's equality. If there's no, they shouldn't be doing this or they should be doing this, that's bad. If there's none of that, then it's beyond good and bad. It just is. And it's the same with right and wrong. And if we're just present now, there is no past, there's no remembering of what somebody did. So it's the instant forgiveness. It's the attributeless forgiveness. And it's to get into this, not that you left it, but to bring the consciousness, be consciously aware of the infinite nature, which is, it doesn't live anywhere, it's just. And to put the questions, the direct inquiry, one of the effective ways is just in this moment here. I mean, you can use pen and paper if you find that useful. You can do it prior to doing this. Or if you could just rest here now and recall that story. And the best way to do it, so you don't get all yucky with the mind, is think of the beginning, the middle and the end. So I'm going to use an example. It's just an example, it's not true. And I'm just going to walk through the exercise. But I will say this again, that after watching this video, if you found it useful, you may benefit from it more if you take pen and paper and do this exercise first and then come back to this video to do the practice. Okay? So what you can do is to get yourself as free as possible, because whatever energy we use to create a problem, we cannot use that same energy to undo it. It won't work. It's too personal, it's too identified. So it's to disengage. So be on the outside looking in. And I'm going to use an example of having a daughter, because I don't have one. So I'm going to use the example of having a daughter. And there's a challenge between me and my daughter. So the beginning is I gave birth to her. Now, it's to use the personal language because it's a personal problem. You see, that can be a huge mistake. Pride can come in and say, well, there is no me, there is no I. That's not going to solve it. Pride is unyielding. You are yielding to the imaginary problem. You have to yield to overcome. So you have to be be responsible. It's to be responsible for this thing without identifying with it. So it because that then allows the heart to be honest, because we're taking out the set of beliefs that are based on unlove, and to establish love, it takes honesty. So it's to be honest. Because it was the attention that went out and connected to all these things, it may have a sense of a me, mine, I, my daughter. So just be honest. Let that be honest. Let that imagined problem be honest. Let it be honest, because it can't harm you anyway, because you are the awareness of it. So, piece of paper, beginning, middle and end. So the beginning is, how do I know this person? Well, she's my daughter, I gave birth to her. One sentence. The middle is, I've always been her mum. Everything's fine. Everything was fine. And then the end, she's disrespectful. I don't know how to stay present when I'm dealing with her because she's not on the path. That's it. So there's the whole story. Beginning, middle and end. Now, it's to look at these dualistic patterns that tend to show up in relationships. So the first question is, and it's to be honest from the state of me, because if you're honest, it will set you free. Is there a sense of superiority over this person? Or is there inferiority? There may not be either. There may be equality, you know, or you may not be able to identify, but just be as honest as possible. So I'm going to just go for, yes, there's a superiority. I'm her mother. I'm older than her. I am due respect. So there's a superiority. No one's making it wrong. Just write superiority and inferiority and tick the superiority. Now we're going to ask the obvious question. Does there feel like there is past history? Yes, there does. Yes, there is past history. I gave birth to her, da 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 da. So write past, write future, and give past a tick. Now it's to ask, what was bad? What don't I like? She's disrespectful. So if I'm superior, then that is bad. So write good and bad and tick bad. And then the last one is right and wrong. Well, in my culture, this is the me speaking. In my culture, children should be quiet and respect their parents. So I'm right and she's wrong. So you can tick them. Just tick right or wrong or both of them. Okay, so you've identified the problem. I'm her mother. She's my daughter. She's done this thing. I don't like it. She's pulling me out of presence. That's wrong. She's got no manners. That's bad. I'm superior. And that happened. And it did happen. There's evidence that it happened. So you can call it past. So we've done that. Okay. You've got it off your chest. Brilliant. There should be a relief. Now with the power of self-inquiry, just be. You've got that problem out. You've got it on paper. You've voiced it. You've been honest. There should be space. Now, is there any inferiority or superiority here in this moment? Is anything superior or inferior? Not you and your daughter. Is anything superior or inferior? Is this the past or the future? Is there anything good or bad about this? Just this. And is there anything right or wrong about this? So what you've done is you've taken the other person out of prison now, because that was the prison. The prison was superior, inferior, right, wrong, good, bad. that was the prison, past and future. Now you've taken everything out of that prison. That was the prison. And now, if you're able to, could you image the person? So I don't have a daughter, so I'm going to have to make somebody up. But if there's still a bit of rawness, because relationships can be really sticky, and I get that. But if you can think of somebody who you have no problem loving, a pet, a place, another being, somebody who you have no problem loving at all, and could you hold them here? And can you recognize those qualities, that there is no past, there is no future, there's just this. There is no inferior or superior. There is no right and wrong, and there's no good and bad. There's only this love. There's just this love. And I want you to just embrace this feeling of love. Embrace it, hold it, kiss it, welcome it, do whatever you need to do with it. Oh. And now that love, now you can put those questions in front of your daughter, your son, your spouse. Is there a past or future? You won't want to let go of that love. Respect that love. Is there a past or future to this love? Invite the vision of them. Invite the image of them. Is there superior, inferior to this love? Oh. Is this good or bad? Is this right or wrong? And now there's no prison. You're not in prison, and you're not holding a past or a future of anybody. That doesn't now mean that you know, go and do something bizarre. You can just leave it alone and let life allow it to dance. Because in truth, we're not the body. We can certainly have an experience of feeling like we are a body. It's a feeling, it's a sense. It's a sense of lack and limitation. I am here and you are there. We can have that feeling, or we cannot. And how we cannot, one of the most effective ways that I've found, if you're unable to just be and just recognize that you are the awareness, if that's a challenge, then the thing that makes it feel like you are not the awareness, that if you can invite that out of the way, then you will be what you are. And that is the attention. So place the attention on an object. Place it, consciously place it, just focus it on one object. And now take that focus and turn it in. See if you can turn it in. And you automatically just feel spacious, because you're feeling and being who and what you are. I really hope this helps, because I know relationships can be the most challenging. And it's because there's a sense of, you did this and I don't like it. It's not good, it's bad, and you shouldn't have done it, because you're either overriding me, I'm a victim, so I'm inferior, or I'm bigger than you. If you just remove the labels, and that's just one way. There's probably lots of different ways, but I found that to be the most effective, and it's very powerful as well. Okay, thank you.